Good morning and happy Monday. I am not moving. So it's Monday and happy Mother's Day for all of you that are mothers, and mothers are not just, you can be a step parent, you can be a parent to a fur baby if you're doing any of those things that you're a mother, or if you're a father who has to play the role, both roles, then you're also doing that. So you should be acknowledged. Anybody that's taking care of anybody else, please, I hope you acknowledged yourself yesterday. And if you didn't, then do it today. So I All right, now I am moving because I'm going to change locations because my phone wouldn't work even though I was on my Wi-Fi. Okay, now I'm stopping. So I had a chance yesterday to hear a summary of a series of speakers that came in and spoke to a big deal group of people in the Tony Robbins world, and there was a summary of one of the speakers that really hit me, and he's a business guy. But he's a business guy. He is one of the people that Paul Tudor Jones and Ray Dalio look at tremendously and spend a lot of time listening to and studying. So he comes to business people, but he comes to them from a very philosophical point of view, and he's a coach in that respect. And he said two things that just really, really struck me. Number one, he said, control is an illusion. Control is an illusion. And, we all talk about, you've heard me talk about again and again and again, we cannot control what happens. We can only control our response. We can't control the wind. We can only control our sails. And in business, and in life, you have to learn this idea. And so his paradigm shift to create that lesson is control is an illusion. So he's actually given up trying to control anything. And instead, he simply focuses on the area of influence that he can manage. Now, he also couples that with the greatest thing the world has ever seen is humans' ability to change and manipulate and innovate. And when we innovate, we do control things that in the past we couldn't control. So there's a little bit of a balance here. But I loved that idea of approaching life on a Monday thinking control is an illusion, give up on it, and control the things that you can control. And we talk about the sphere of influence and how you expand your sphere of influence. You get outside of your comfort zone, and then you do things that are different than what you're used to. Now you have a larger area, but you still have this idea of there's stuff that you simply are not going to be able to manage. There is stuff that you see, and no matter how hard you try, you simply can't do that. You can't control COVID and the world shutting down. You can't control an auto wreck like I deal with all the time. You can't control somebody getting sick. And he couples this with the idea of certainty. And he says control is an illusion and certainty is never something to strive for. That you actually always want to be striving for uncertainty. Because he goes, we never learn anything from successes. We never learn anything from when things go the way that we want them to go. We only learn and grow when things are uncertain, when it's something that we can't control, and when it's way outside of our comfort zone. And we usually call those what? Problems. We always call those problems. We don't call them opportunities. If we're doing great, we do that. But most of the time we say, this is a problem. And we can have anxiety over that problem. If we're an achiever, we can say that we're stressed over that problem. We can language that however we want. But at the end of the day, it's the same basic idea that something comes to you that's outside of your comfort zone, that it's not what you expected. And so now you have to deal with that particular event. And so how this philosopher coaches business people to look at that is to say, number one, you forget control, it's an illusion. And number two, don't look for certainty, look for uncertainty. Look for the areas that are problems, because that's where the real juice of your business is going to be. Stop paying attention to what is working, because you know that that's going to work. Look at those problems and solve those problems. That's where your growth is. That's where your opportunity is. Because what do we mostly do with our problems? We ignore them. I was driving back from my mom's yesterday, and I was listening to CNBC, and they had this show on where these people were doing makeovers. I don't know what the show is, but I'd like to find it. People were doing makeovers to small businesses. And they were taking small businesses that were doing okay but weren't killing it, and they were reinventing them so that they started doing really well. And inevitably what they did is they went after the problem that the business owner was ignoring. There was always a space in the business that wasn't being utilized, that the business owner didn't know what to do with, and they figured out, because they looked at it outside the box, whatever term you want to say, they looked at it in a different way and said, wait a minute, if you took this space and utilized it in this fashion, now all of a sudden your negative would become a positive, and it would in fact grow your business by 30%. So one of the businesses was a hair salon in Manhattan, incredibly competitive and only 750 feet. But there was this back area that was only about 20 square feet, that was too small to put a chair, and couldn't be done with anything, so the person was just using it for storage. And these people came in and said, well, wait a minute, you've got 4 chairs. When somebody gets a cut and color, which is your number one seller, they have to sit in the chair for 2 hours, an hour of which is just letting it process. What if we took this small area and made it a lovely little salon where 4 people can sit? We put in a TV, we had snacks, we had coffee, we had tea, we had some wine, we had some champagne. You could even offer, a vibrating chair. You could offer a foot massage. You could offer all kinds of stuff. You would then double how many people you could process in a day, because while they were sitting there waiting for an hour, the new 4 chairs could be full of new people. They doubled that person's business with that idea. The other one was a bowling alley that had been around forever, that had this huge back area that he had never known what to do with because it was too big and it was in bad shape. Well, they redid it for a very small price and turned it into a gaming area for kids, so that you could have arcades, you could have birthday parties, you could have all kinds of events. They added 40% to the bottom line of this business simply by renovating that area, which cost this guy less than what he was going to make on it in 1 year. These were problems that were ignored. They were outside of the person's comfort zone. They didn't have certainty about it. They didn't know what to do, and so they ignored it. And all the business consultant did is look at it with fresh eyes. So what area of your life are you trying to control that you know you can't, so that you should surrender that and instead control your response by understanding that the only certainty is the certainty that you bring to it. And it's the certainty that we create. So instead of ignoring that problem, go look at it and figure out the solution, because more often than not, the growth that you need, either as a business owner, as a parent, as a spouse, significant other, whatever, is in that problem that you're ignoring. And when you figure out how to solve that problem, now you're going to be able to be that much better at everything else. I listened to both of those as I was driving back and forth to my mom's for Mother's Day, and I found them to be amazing. It's the same message, but it came at me in a different way, and it hit me like a bucket of cold water. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to say good morning to everybody. Mandy, it's great to see you. Joanne, thank you so much for popping on and for all of your responses. I love them. Lisa Barklow, great to see you. Haven't seen you forever. Have an uber awesome day, my friend. Thank you, Mandy, so much. I can't wait to see you guys in person. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Thanks for watching.